Many of you have heard of, seen, or used a Juul? Raise a hand, I guess. E-cigarettes have become, E-cigarettes have become incredibly popular with teenagers and students today in the United States. Individuals can make educated choices by understanding how e-cigarettes as well as cigarettes work. After researching this topic for my own well-being as well as yours, I will be going over the history of smoking, how e-cigarettes and cigarettes work, and then how nicotine affects the body in the short term and long term. According to Addiction to Nicotine by the World Health Organization, published in 2015, 300 years after its discovery, the first cigarette manufacturing machines were created and cigarettes began becoming mass-produced. It wasn't until the 1950s when scientists linked smoking cigarettes with lung cancer, and in the 1980s when nicotine was first discovered to be a highly addictive drug that they realized how bad cigarettes were truly for you. The first e-cigarettes dropped on the market in the early 2000s, and the ever-so-popular Juul was created in 2015. Sadly, cigarettes are said to be one of the deadliest inventions ever. Most of the tobacco epidemic remains in the future, with the total global toll of deaths likely to reach 2 million lung cancer deaths per year in the 2020s and 2030s, stated in the History of the Discovery of a Cigarette by Robert Proctor in the BMJ Journal in 2012. And then this is a timeline, and this is what, if we got everyone to quit smoking, what we could prevent, and then it would be some main ones, like 1 out of every 3 cancer deaths would be prevented, and then more than 16 million people who already have one disease from smoking could prevent growing another one. Okay, it's kind of hard to read, but then, and it's at least 88 million Americans who continue to be exposed by the dangerous chemicals from secondhand smoke. Now I would like to tell you about the most important ingredient in e-cigarettes and cigarettes, nicotine. Juul pods contain 0.7 milliliters of juice with approximately 5% nicotine by weight. That sounds confusing, but basically 1 Juul pod is equivalent to a pack of cigarettes and has 200 puffs. Nicotine enters the bloodstream through the lungs and travels to the heart, arriving at the brain within 5 to 10 seconds of inhale. Juuls are easy to use and conceal, but highly addictive. Like with most new technology, teens are usually the first to try, use, and understand them. E-cigarettes' popularity has blown up over the past year or two due to its apparent lower health risk and the larger dose of nicotine users can get from just a few puffs. According to Electronic Cigarette Use Among Adults by Charlotte Schoenberg and Renee Gindy, published in October 2015, about 3.7% of adults currently use e-cigarettes every day. However, according to lung cancer specialist physician's attitudes towards e-cigarettes by Shin and others, published by PLOS One in 2017, it is still unknown its effects on the lungs, so e-cigarettes may not be as safe as they seem. Lastly, we will be learning about nicotine. In Is Nicotine All Bad by Kate Kelland from Scientific American explained that a short-term use has many positive effects, such as raising heart rate, increasing the speed of sensory information processing, easing tension, and sharpening the mind. Once at the brain, nicotine activates certain nerves that release chemicals such as dopamine and melatonin throughout the body. Women experience greater pleasurable effects from tobacco smoke than men do. It is also shown that women do not need to take as much nicotine in as men do and have a greater sensitivity to its effects. However, nicotine is highly addictive, and it's estimated about 50% of those who start smoking as teenagers continue to smoke for 15 to 20 years. The Surgeon General describes studies that have shown there is a youthful neurobiological sensitivity to nicotine, meaning that teenagers and young adults are at a higher risk of becoming addicted to nicotine if they start using at a younger age. Further studies have shown a link between nicotine and teen depression. I hope my speech cleared up any misconceptions you may have about nicotine and e-cigarettes. We still do not have much data on the dangers of e-cigarettes, so if you do choose to vape, do so in moderation. Thank you.